It's showtime, folks. Welcome in Chase and Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game on this Thursday. We are live today from the Omni Nashville Hotel at Kitchen Notes, as we are every week. Always exciting. He's Big Joe. I'm Chase McCabe. Dr. Crane, Nick Frazier on the ones and twos is back at our studios. What's up, JoJo?
What are those studios called, pal?
I hate it when you do that. I don't have this pulled up. They're
Busy
called the
Bee.
Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, Game Nashville Studios, and they are home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service.
Always. Had a fun night
you
last
mute your
night.
computer?
Huh? Oh, did I? I don't know why it's on. How do you hear that and I don't?
Because I hear background noise and it drives me nuts.
Okay. All right. We're better
There
now.
we go.
Shout out to the Pancake Pantry last night. We celebrated our show over there with a special event. Thank you, Tammy Beauclair, for inviting us out. That was a lot of fun last night. And so it was a fun evening. We got out.
It was.
And seeing Dr. Crane after dark. I mean, they dressed up. Dr. Crane, he looked pretty handsome last night, buddy.
Had his bow tie on. It was great.
Thank you, gentlemen. Yeah, I try to dress to impress every once in a while.
We did a good job.
Well, you did it. The Grinch last night really liked you. So that was something else. So fun night.
Thank Nani for letting you out of the house
I
for
sure
a little
will.
bit. I know it was past your bedtime, but it was good to see you.
What's your curfew, Dr. Crane? 6?
Yeah, I mean, I'm normally in bed around like 7:30, and then I just wake up super early. But yeah, I'm glad I got to be out past my curfew, and she was all right with it. It wasn't too bad. She just asked to just lock the door behind me when I got in. I was like, all right, we'll do.
Okay, that's cool.
Nikki, where you been?
And she's like, I want to read to you Good Night to Moon.
She actually did read Goodnight Moon to me.
Oh, really?
Not last night, but in previous years when I was a kid, yeah.
It's okay if it was last night.
Yeah, that's okay, buddy. I miss reading.
I love that book.
I read all those books to my kids. I truly do miss doing that because they were so innocent and it was fun. But we'll read it to you one day on the show, Dr. Crane.
Do you ever there's obviously you read to your kids and all that stuff, but like I was big into Dr. Seuss. My mom had a bunch of Dr. Seuss books. It never fails that I will read at least every couple of years, Oh, the Places You'll Go.
As you
and
should.
You just feel better after you read that.
Right. By the way, he wasn't an actual doctor.
I know. Okay. Thank you. Thanks for clearing that up.
I would read my kid's book. My son loved it when I'd read him to a Hannibal Lecter voice. I mean, he loved it. And he had no idea where that voice came from. But he would love it. So we would spend, years just reading books like that. Good times like that.
Oh, very good. Not good times for the Predators. They go on the road to Washington and can't get it done. Fall 3-2. I thought they played better at spurts in the game. It looked like in the third period they might have tied it up and challenged the ruling on the ice. They ultimately didn't win the challenge. Goaltender interference was called. And so Alex Ovechkin had gotten the game winner, and the Capitals win 3-2 in Washington. But the Preds will have a quick turnaround as they'll play the Florida Panthers tonight. Max Herr is going to join us at 9:30. We'll get his perspective on everything going on, but really need to get this turned around.
After the expectations, I'm looking at AHL standings right now, and to see them in single-digit points, why everybody in the league but the Flyers have double digits, some already in the 20s, is concerning.
Yeah,
it really is. After the offseason and bringing these guys in and just immediately thinking, well, these guys are champions, they're warriors, they're winners. And to see this hockey team where it is right now, I would have, if I was a betting man, I've lost every penny on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing. This is the concern. It's one thing to have a slow start. It's one thing to kind of need to take time for everything to gel. Like I assumed that was going to happen. I wasn't expecting them to win 10. Just a lot of disjointedness. They're not crashing the net. That's been what Andrew Brunette has really been preaching. You know, that's where I'm really concerned. I'm like, this looks like this doesn't look like a good team right now. And that scares me.
Yeah. I don't know what, I mean, obviously you get a chance to turn it around tonight, but you're also turning around against maybe the best team in hockey in the Florida Panthers.
Yeah. They're 9-3-1.
Yep.
You're 4-8-1.
It's not good, man.
No. So, I mean, that's kind of where you're at this point in time. But we'll see. We'll talk to Max more about that coming up at 9:30. 10:30 today. I'm excited about this because if you look back in Titans history and think of a certain play that is pretty famous, when you listen to Mike Keith's call, the first part of that famous call is it's fielded by Lorenzo Neal.
Yeah.
Lorenzo Neal, Low Neal will join us at 10:30 today. Looking forward to that.
And good job you getting them on here because we have seen, and you're watching college football, the return kinda of the fullback.
Yeah.
And they do the spread, but a lot of teams are getting those 3rd and 1, 4th and 1 situations, and they need a fullback to clear the path. And so it's kind of making a comeback in football. And of course, he was an amazing running back when he's with the Saints. He had over 1,000 yards, and he transcended into a fullback.
Yeah.
Who, look, man, I'm telling you, when you got a running back who looks for contact,
oh yeah,
you got a good running back. And Lorenzo Neal looked for contact every single time. And you look at all these, Eddie George credits him for clearing the way up. Jamal Lewis.
LaDainian Tomlinson.
Tomlinson.
He played for the Chargers too after he left here.
Yep.
And or he went to Baltimore and then there. But when LT went in the Hall of Fame, Low Neal was there. He was thanking Low Neal for clearing the way for him.
And I tell you why, fullbacks are coming back. Because nobody likes to tackle anymore.
Yeah.
They want to just throw their head down there. So with a fullback, he's just going to run over you like Mike Allstott. They're going to blow by you. You're going to hang on for dear life. And a lot of the DBs and secondary, the back four, they don't like contact. Some of the linebackers don't like contact. So you get a fullback who's looking for contact, you're going to win that battle every single time.
Yeah. So looking forward to talking to Lorenzo Neal coming up here at 10:30 today. Speaking of the Titans, I'm just, are you at the point where it's like,
don't care?
They have, well, yeah, but they're in your periphery because obviously with what we do, you got to pay attention, but you kind of listen a little bit to what's coming out over there. Some guys are hurt, but at the same time, it's like, just get me to Sunday. just get the
Give me a Sunday.
Like I don't care about I do, but at the same time, it's like I just want to watch the game.
Right. Oh, I'm with you, man. And this game against the Chargers, you're not expecting them to win. West Coast game. So go out there and nobody's thinking you're going to win the game and just go out and play and have fun. And I really would like to see from now on Will Levis. Just let it go. I don't think we will. I think it'll be Mason Rudolph because I
actually think it will be Will Levis.
Do you?
Yeah.
What makes you think that?
Because Titans coach Brian Callahan said earlier on Wednesday the team planned to increase the reps for quarterback Will Levis this week. He was a limited participant Wednesday. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe it will be Mason Rudolph.
Did you ever think this football team on August 1st would be this bad?
No. I didn't look, I didn't know what they were going to be. I think I had them at like 8 wins.
Yep.
8 or 9, which I thought was kind of right where they were supposed to be. Now looking at it, I guess that was overly optimistic.
Who's winning that game at the station? Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I think Ian too. I think Ian may have had him at like 4 wins.
Damn it, Ian. I just saw when they went into camp with no depth at defensive line, guys I'd never heard of, and all the questions still at offensive line. Now, look, the receivers, you added all those guys, and Tony Pollard's playing fantastic.
He's fine.
He's doing well. And I just there's no depth at D-line. There's no pass rushing, and the offensive line still stinks. And then, of course, the incident at training camp happened, and I was like, okay, this is a 5-12 team. Anything beyond that, I think it's remarkable. But, you got to go out and play the game on Sunday, and you play the Chargers. And, look, they almost beat the Chargers. Was it 2 years ago they went out there?
Yeah, maybe. They just don't play well out there.
That was
whether
the game
it's San Diego or L.A.
Was that the game Tannehill was looking through the tent?
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. But I would love to see Will Levis just go out there and throw the ball and just open the playbook up and have fun. Just let it go. You have 8-9 games to evaluate him. Who knows what could happen? You already know what you get in Mason Rudolph. See what you can get now.
Here's the problem, though. They had a walkthrough practice on Wednesday, so they're not even having a full practice right now, which tells you how the team is. Jeffrey Simmons didn't practice because of rest. L'Jarius Sneed did not practice. Tyler Boyd, limited. They just signed veteran Mike Edwards. I mean, they just got a ton of guys that are banged up. Ridley was limited, Radence was limited, Pollard was limited, Hooker was limited. I mean, it just Spears limited, and then Trey Avery was a full participant. But I mean, you get these guys that get to this point now where hardly anybody's practicing.
And you're halfway through the season.
Yeah.
A miserable time covering this team was 2014 and 15. You just knew, and this is the same feeling. I mean, it's the same feeling over there. And beating the Patriots, yeah, I know the Patriots are terrible, but a win's still a win. But, man, now you got to go out there to the West Coast. And, if you look at the schedule going forward, Vikings are here next week.
Oh,
I mean, they're going to throw the ball all around the field, and they've got a great defense. But all you can control is the game in front of you. And there's a tall task for Brian Callahan, man. And it's just – and nobody talks about the Titans. There's no bump around. I mean, it really is. It's Tennessee and Vandy football.
yeah.
All the people I talk to, it's Tennessee and Vandy football. College football – this year's, and you can bring the ratings at me. I do not care, but I'm telling you, all the NFL has got to be jealous of college football. Has to be, because college football
they don't care.
But I'm talking.
I know what you mean.
The excitement, the passion. NFL's got none of that right now.
No,
but you're right. They don't care.
Right.
I know that they don't care.
What's interesting when you look at, you just mentioned the schedule. So at the Chargers, Vikings here, at Houston, at Washington. Then you get into week 14 in December. There's a month, basically the last month of the season, that all right, you might find some wins. Jacksonville here, Cincinnati here, at Indy, at Jacksonville, and then Houston's here in the last week, but you got to figure they're going to have something locked up by then. So that might even be that's 5 games that you might be able to find some wins out of.
Maybe.
But you might be so bad that they're thinking, oh, there we go. There's a dub.
Yeah.
Playing Tennessee.
Right.
So, I mean, that's just kind of where they're at. Because the other thing that nobody ever wants to admit, guys do get checked out. And this team's already starting to do that.
Oh, you think so?
Like they start looking at, tee times and booking vacations, and that's why I always make the joke Cancun on 3, for a team that's out of it. I mean, like this team might have been, and look, they played hard, they won a game last week, but I bet you there's some guys in that locker room that they've been Cancun on 3 for the past 3 weeks.
It's when we talk about it, I almost check out. I'm like, what else can you talk about on this football team?
Right.
It's stuff there, and you got Vanderbilt down the road who's playing great. Tennessee, has made in the initial top 12 playoff. And big games this weekend, it's like, all right, thank goodness for college football, because the Preds are terrible, Titans are terrible, and right now college football is saving us.
Yeah, college football in general is just fun right now.
It is.
615-737-1025. That's our phone and text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. We're up and running here on this Thursday. We're live at the Omni Nashville Hotel at Kitchen Notes. Mac's going to join us at the bottom of the hour, talk some hockey with him, but we'll continue the football discussion coming up next. 102.5, 106.3, The Game. It's a Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game here on this Thursday live at the Omni Nashville Hotel at Kitchen Notes. The TV-themed Thursday.
What a great show.
Oh, it's a fantastic show.
It is.
We just had the Fonz's birthday not long ago.
That's right. And they were in town at Gallatin for some Gallatin Comic Con
Oh, really?
a couple weeks ago. Yeah. Ralph, Mouth, Potsy, and then the Fonz were there. We're all there. I got a question for our audience, and it's just something that bugged me today. At a red light, when somebody doesn't go, how long before you honk? Because there was a lady today on her phone that I waited a good 10 seconds at a red light, and I'm not a patient man before I honked. I'm just curious. Do you honk at people at a red light when they don't go?
Yeah.
What's your time limit?
About 2 seconds.
2 seconds.
And look, I expect the same thing from me because I've been guilty of it. Like, especially like if I'm the lead car and I'll, check my phone for a second and then I get a honk like, hey, no, you're good.
So you don't get mad? Do you get mad when you get honked at?
The only time I get mad is like literally when it turns green and they honk.
Okay.
Then I'm going to get out and fight you. Because it's like, no. You go 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, then you can honk.
So you're
That's
a 2 second guy. I'm
2
usually
to
about
3.
a 4
2
to
to
5
3.
second guy.
Probably more.
But for some reason, I would just sit there and I was like, all right, are they going to notice they need to go? So my question, and you guys weigh in, 615-737-1025 on our text line, or you can call whatever. How long do you wait? And I was like, how long would you wait to honk if somebody's not going at a red light? It was on Lebanon Road at Spence Lane.
It's a great question because I do think sometimes as a country we're too impatient, but then sometimes I think we're too patient.
Yeah. But you made a point. If you're the lead dog, you got to go.
Yeah.
You got to go. I have less patience if I'm the second car and you're the number one car and you're sitting there, go. I mean, it's just because traffic's gotten so bad in Nashville that you have to take advantage of when the light turns green and go immediately. So I was just curious how long people waited because I waited over 10 seconds before I honked.
Gover weighs in, says about 2 seconds. The rest of the line is waiting. By being in the front of the line, you have the responsibility to pay attention.
Good one.
That's fair.
That's right. I'll
100%.
take that.
615-737-1025. That's our phone and text line. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. How long do you wait to honk at a car at a red light?
You know, I bet doesn't honk? Dr. Crane. Dr. Crane, I guarantee you don't honk, do you?
I do actually.
Yeah, I could. No, I was about to say I could see it.
Well,
Wow,
here's
too
the thing. Initially, when I started driving back in high school, I was not a big honk person. I didn't really like pressing it because I felt it was too aggressive. Now I feel like with all these people moving to Nashville, you kind of get that New York mentality of like, listen, if you ain't going, I got to press the horn. And so
You didn't want to honk it, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No honking.
So
Yeah. Especially not a honk to her. You're like, I'm not doing that.
no, but I'm
not
with Chase
honking.
on this. It's about 2 seconds, and then
I am
Bobo.
shocked.
a good indicator is if it's a double turn lane and you see the car to the left of the lead car go and the car you're behind doesn't go, that's when you lay
Right.
the horn. You got to lay the horn.
Dr. Green, I'm going to be honest with you. Like you are one of the nicest people. You have been raised very well by your parents and your nanny, and like there's no doubt about that. I can see you, just being stopped at a red light and somebody just rubs you the wrong way and you just get out and smash their headlights with a baseball bat. I could totally see that.
It's possible. There was one
with a smile on your face.
There was one guy. I was driving home from work one day, and he was driving a truck, and his back bumper was all messed up, and he's like spiking his brakes on me. I'm like, dude, what is wrong with this guy? And I go to the left of him. He goes, hey, can you stop riding my brakes? I'm like, dude, I'm not riding anything. I'm riding my car back to my house. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I rolled my window down. I was like, I don't really have confrontations during traffic.
Hey, buddy.
But if it's 5
Hey,
o'clock,
pal.
if it's 5 o'clock and there's a lot of cars bumper to bumper, you have no jurisdiction to say anything to me. I'm just saying.
I
like
am
it.
shocked that you two are the guys I thought would wait about 8 or 9 because you're very kind of relaxed and subdued. And here I am, the guy that flies off the handle when anything that goes on. But I'm proud of you two. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not proud. I think I'm just like I'm kind of
Yeah.
different feeling about you two.
615-737-1025. Hair Metal Henry says 3 seconds, and thanks for shutting Pancake Pantry down for your stupid event. The one night I want pancakes.
For your stupid event. Hey, pal, you went to Riverside Bar and Grill in East Nashville, and Chase didn't get an invite. Ricky didn't get an invite. JoJo didn't get an invite. So you have no room to talk here, Middle Henry.
JD, 3 seconds max. Pay attention. We all have places to be. The lead dog is most important because it's a chain reaction.
It is. And I told you the story last week about me breaking down 11 Road and getting yelled at by everybody and honked at. I get that. That's fine. But I think this is different, when you're sitting at a red light and not moving.
Adam in Portland says 3 seconds max. At 10 seconds, I'm bashing my steering wheel and practicing bad words. Also, anything over 5 seconds, I'm staring hard at them, looking at them like they are a math problem on the blackboard of Goodwill Hunting.
Oh, have you ever honked at anybody and they got out and pointed at you?
Yeah,
it happened. It has happened. I just laugh. I laugh, and I don't do it anymore. Pretty much if you get out of the car, because you never know in these days.
That's the thing. It's like there have been a few things that have happened recently that I want to give you the one finger salute or something like that, but it's like, man, people are just nuts now.
This has been years now, but this is the one that got me. I honked at a lady, would not going at a red light. It was a 4-way stop, wouldn't go. She kept letting other cars go. I'm like, just go. And I honked at her, and she got out, and she gave me the thumbs down. And I was like, how do you come back? There's no comeback from an old lady who gives you the thumbs down. I mean, she wins that. I was like, good for you. 1-0 you.
Yeah. Ben says, I don't go right away because people that are late trying to run the yellow, plus big trucks can't stop sometimes. I always look both ways before I go on green.
What's smart? That should be like a second to do that. But anything more than 5 seconds. And I don't know why I waited 10. I was just like, okay.
I always look, and if I see a Beamer or a Lexus or a Mercedes or something coming, I'm like, hey, let's go.
Yeah, do it, right? Ouch.
It's God's will.
What's that number for Blair Durham?
Yeah, exactly. Blair, I have you on.
Hey, busy.
Brian about Julian. 2 seconds is the maximum before you haul. Also, if you're the lead car, you do not get to use your phone. Put it up or let somebody in front of you.
That's great advice.
That's actually really good.
Thank you, Brian. That's perfect.
Dave says, give them a beat, then a quick double honk. Feels like a friendlier, yo, let's go. Single long honk is too aggressive.
A double honk. That's good.
I like that.
Are they friendly? That's a friendly honk. Yeah.
That's a friendly honk.
Thank you for that, Dave.
Man, it's just crazy. Like driving story, because our text line is blowing up now. Driving stories are always the best because we've all, like, if you really think about everything we're talking about, we have been on both sides of it.
Yeah,
we've all been guilty of it.
Yep.
And if you're like, I've never done that, you're lying. But like the other day, I'm on 440 and I can see it. Like I feel it. It's about to happen. There's a guy. I'm in the far left lane. I'm cruising along. There's a guy in the right lane. He's not paying attention. He starts coming over, and I lay on the horn. And I thought like it was going to cause a 5-car pileup because he swerves swerves it, and then like you look at him and he's just.
Where on 440 were you?
Nolensville. My Nolensville.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just got on there. Okay. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like so many people don't pay attention these days, and you got to worry about all that goes on. But I mean, the friendly honk, maybe I'll try that from now. That's like beep, beep, little road runner.
Joey wants to weigh in on our phones. Joey, what's up?
Hey, guys. Appreciate it. It's been a minute since I've been on here. So this is a big thing, actually, in my household. My wife is one of the kindest and most patient people I know. But this woman, I swear to God, when the red light turns red, she just forgets she's in a car. And I even have to get on to her about, like, hey, I'll point at the light. Like, I count one. When I'm behind people, it bugs the crap out of me, too. So I'll be like, I'll count 1, 2. And when I'm about to say 3, my hand's in the air ready to hit the horn. If they don't move, I'm hitting it. My wife, it bugs me because I don't like getting honked at. Because just like you, Chase, I'll hop out the car and say, what, bro? But
yeah,
but yeah, I watch the red light, and then when it turns green, I point, and my wife. That's caused more arguments in my marriage than anything else.
Nice. Thanks, Joey.
Thanks, you guys. Love you guys.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, man.
This is a great one. 2657. Honked at a guy at a red light in Madison. He got out, pulled a gun on me.
No.
I'm a police officer and was in uniform in my POV. Got out and arrested him.
Yes. Back the blue, baby. Nice.
I love that.
Just raise your hand and say, "I'm my bad," and I've done it before. I've been guilty. My bad, and I am so sorry.
There's so many times where I wish that like I was this undercover, super powerful like cop, and somebody does something stupid, and I'm just like pull the badge out, like, get on, come on, hands behind your back.
Oh,
like we've all seen too many action movies where it's just like we want to be that guy.
Yeah. Well, like in 48 Hours, and Reggie Hammond was telling Nick Nolte's character, only reason we didn't fight you because you had a badge.
Exactly.
That was the only reason we didn't do all that. So I'm just curious about that because like I said, good point. I'll be on both sides.
Wes wants to weigh in real quick. What's up, Wes?
Oh, guys, if the answer is more than 2 or 3 seconds here, then if it's not 2 or 3 seconds, there's not another answer. I just have to add to this. And I drive a Sprinter van around Nashville 4 or 5 days a week, so I feel like I'm qualified to say this. I get stuck in bumper-to-bumper traffic twice a day, every single day. And I try my hardest to watch out for the motorcycles. All I ask is that you just stay in one lane and stop passing me in the middle of the road in bumper-to-bumper traffic. And none of us are moving. You can't move either. That's all I got.
Okay.
Thank you, buddy.
That's fair. Thanks, Wes. Appreciate it. Good stuff. We'll get back to this. Obviously, I think this therapy session helped people.
Absolutely. Help me. Thank you.
We'll talk to Max Hers, see what's going on with the Predators as they fall last night 3-2 in Washington. They'll play Florida tonight. We'll talk to Max next. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 the game on this Thursday. We're at the Omni Nashville Hotel at Kitchen Notes. Predators fall 3-2 to the Washington Capitals last night. They're back at it tonight in Florida. We'll have pregame coverage with Robbie Stanley at 5, and then Max Herds and Hal Gill on the call just after 6 o'clock. Max joins us now here on the program. Hello, Maxie. How are you?
Hi, guys. I forgot it was theme song day. I should have made a request to Dr. Crane. I didn't recognize what that one was.
It's TV theme Thursday, so I don't know. I didn't know that one either. But nonetheless, Predators lose last night 3-2. They actually started off the game by scoring first. Juuso Parssinen on that line that came together at the very last minute. Let's kind of start with that. What did you learn knowing that Luke Evangelista was supposed to be a healthy scratch, and then something happens in warmups with Tommy Novak, and they got to completely scrap that plan? Evangelista goes in and then gets the primary assist on the first goal.
Yeah, the last minute line. Two guys who had basically been on the practice squad for 2 weeks, which is something that doesn't exist in the NHL, in Juuso Parssinen and Phil Tomasino. And then Evangelista, who they were trying to wake up with a health bomb, as the cool hockey kids say. And I think they got the effect of it without him having to actually sit out the game. He was motivated. All three of those guys played well. They played together, and they played together for pretty much the entire game. And we'll see on the availability of the other centers tonight on the short end of a back-to-back, with Novak and Sissons both being injured yesterday. But I think they'll do everything they can to keep that line together because of how they looked yesterday. It was by far the best that all three of those players have looked this season, let alone maybe all of last season as well for Tomasino and Parssinen. So that was exactly what they needed from those guys. They need their depth scoring, and those guys are the depth scoring.
What did you think, let's just put the final score aside, what did you think about the play? Did you see improvements in what Andrew Brunette and company were looking for?
Yeah, I think it was better. It was they showed what Bruno had said he hoped to see on the road, which is getting to the harder areas, more sustained puck possession, not trying to be too flashy. They corrected a lot of their 5-on-5 offensive deficiencies from the first month of the season. It was by far Steven Stamkos' best even strength game. The worry is they still gave up a ton of grade A chances to the Capitals. They had a ton of missed assignments, especially on rebounds, second, third, and fourth bursts defensively. And that's where a couple of the goals came from. So UC Saros stopped like 7 of them that should have been goals on chances like that. But 2 of them went in, and then Alex Ovechkin hit one that you're not going to stop no matter what you're going to do. And if you only score 2, you're going to lose that game 3-2, and they did.
We're talking with my best friend, Max Herz, Nashville Predators, on the road tonight against the Florida Panthers. Max, I was listening to you on the way home last night, and the goal that was reviewed and called off in the third period, you made a good statement, you and Hal. All the players that were within that goal on the ice at the time were adamant that was a goal. So I didn't get to see the replay, but was there goalie interference on that? Because like you talked about, it's like the players are absolutely sure that there was no goalie interference.
Yeah, there are a couple things that we kind of came away with putting our heads together after the game on this one with all the broadcasters together, because Hal and I do get to see the TV broadcast, but the TV broadcasters are going to have better angles of it because they're looking at the TV screens and being told what's coming next and what's happening. So the 2 things we came away with, one of which I made a point to say on the radio, because these reviews are confusing. And in the NHL, not a lot of things can be challenged. The majority of things are just league reviews. This is a challenge. Goalie interference and offside are the 2 most common challenges. The big thing was the referees said the puck went into the net and the whistle had not blown. That much had been decided. All that was being reviewed is whether or not there was goalie interference. So it wasn't about whether the puck was frozen or covered or anything like that. They determined the puck went in. And the Preds were hacking and whacking at it. The referee, Michael Markovich, was on top of the goal where he's supposed to be, and he saw that the puck was still moving. And they made the call on the ice after some deliberation that it was goalie interference. And Mark Del Gaizo, who would have scored his first NHL goal on this play, got pushed in to the goalie by a Capitals player, Nick Dowd. And that's why the Preds challenged. because they thought he got pushed in. And if you push somebody into your own goalie, that's not supposed to be goalie interference. But I guess in this case, the fact that the call on the ice was interference wasn't enough to overturn. But the explanation that the league published from the Situation Room made it seem like they had conclusive evidence that it was interference. So, I mean, this is one of the murkiest rules in pro sports. It has been for a long time. And the Preds would not have challenged if they did not think they had an 80 to 90+% chance of winning the challenge.
Well, not only that, but your description of the call, which was all great, and just talking about the guys on the ice being so adamant that was a goal and celebrating. I was like, if they're that close and see them, they're on the ice and feel that way, then it's a goal. And I was shocked when they when they overturned it.
Yeah, I mean, the puck went in. The players saw the puck went in. The referees acknowledged it went in. And a different rule that the Preds did not agree with was what flipped it, unfortunately.
So I hear that when you guys landed, at 2 a.m, straight to South Beach, or what did you go to the hotel? What did we do?
Yeah, Hal Gill wanted to take me down to the beach, but I said we'll wait till this afternoon.
What's the schedule for the team? Will they have a morning skate? I mean, it's just all these back-to-back games.
No, they didn't even skate yesterday. So the way they've been running these back-to-backs so far this season is they'll skate the day before. So this time they practiced in Nashville on Tuesday, then flew to D.C., didn't skate before the game last night, just went to the arena for the game, and they'll do the same today. So they'll have their video and their pre-scout meetings and things like that. But, yeah, they'll just head down to the arena, and it's an interesting matchup rest-wise because the Predators are in a really busy stretch of 7 games in 12 days, which is a lot and not a lot of days off. So this is game 5 out of 7 in that stretch. And the Panthers have not played since Saturday, but their last 2 games were in Finland for the Global Series. So they've won 5 in a row. They haven't played since Saturday. They just flew back from the other side of the world. And the Predators have played like 8 games since the last time they played. So both teams in unique situations rest-wise going into tonight. And you think that would evidence that the Preds would have a strong start, and then the Panthers would come on a little bit later as the Preds would get tired. That's kind of the stereotype of how that would work. But like I said, this is a very uncommon situation on both ends.
Max Hers is with us. And, so along those lines, I would assume we'll see Scott Wedgwood in that tonight since Saros played last night. But the big question for me is, if Sissons and Novak can't go tonight, what does this lineup look like for Andrew Brunette? I mean, you can put Jankowski back in, I guess, but could we potentially see a call-up?
Wedgwood, I think, will start, first of all, to address that part of it. I'd be surprised if they went Saros in both ends of a back-to-back this early in the season. I mean, like you said, they have Jankowski. Even if Sissons and Novak both don't play tonight, they have enough forwards and enough centers to play tonight's game. So I think as long as Jankowski is well enough to play, he did miss a game with an injury last week, but last night, as far as I know, he was a healthy scratch. So I think you have enough centers to do that. Would you put Parssinen back as the second line center then, or would you maybe give Jankowski a shot there to keep Parssinen with Evangelista and Tomasino like they were last night? I think that's probably going to be tempting for the coaches after how good that line looked yesterday on 3 guys that they've gotten nothing out of so far this year. So don't be mad at me if I'm wrong. I would not expect to call up on this short notice, but I have no inside information on that.
Yeah. Well, it'll certainly be interesting to see. Max, appreciate it, my friend. Great job on the call, and we'll be listening to you and Hal tonight.
Thank you, Joe. You're my best friend, too.
Appreciate you, Maxie. Thank you, buddy.
Max Hers joining us from Sunrise, Florida, as the Predators take on the defending Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers tonight. Again, we'll have pregame coverage for you at 5. The puck drop just after 6 o'clock here on 102.5, 106.3 The Game, as they look to try and get things turned around. 2-game road trip, back at it here Saturday against Utah, and then they hit the road for 5 games, which I think I think they need that. They need that team bonding time that you see on the road, and maybe somebody needs to schedule a U2 concert and then cancel it.
Well, maybe Trotz is going to say, hey, I'm going to pull this car over. You don't get your stuff together.
If you don't get this, I'm going to turn this car around.
Trotz driving the big old bus. We have more of our question. How long do you wait before you honk? Somebody on Twitter is giving us a new catchphrase about how long do you wait until you honk. at somebody at a red light. And we got all these responses. We'll get into it. Just a
We
little
will.
bit.
We'll get into that coming up next. It's Chase and Big Joe, 615-737-1025. That's our phone and text line. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Tune in to 94.9 The Fan this Saturday at 6:30 for our college football game of the week. Alabama and LSU, presented by Twin Peaks Restaurants. Take your tailgate to Twin Peaks, home of the 29-degree drafts and wall-to-wall sports. I hear you can get this on VHS.
Oh my God.
Right, Dr. Crane?
Yes, you can.
Oh my goodness.
Little Dallas bringing us back on a TV theme Thursday. Chasing Big Joe live at Kitchen Notes here at the Omni Nashville Hotel. Our question of the day: how long do you wait to honk at somebody at a red light?
Yeah.
The average is like 2 to 3 seconds.
2
is
to
what
3.
I'm saying.
And it started because I waited about 10 seconds today because I don't know why. Lebanon and Spence Lane. And you know who you are that was holding the traffic up. So no, do better. Do
Just-
better than that.
Just once, I want one of these people that we're complaining about in traffic to actually be listening and call.
Say, I'm sorry. I had no idea about all that. So Andy Peterson, Andy, thank you
This is
for
good.
doing this. He says you wait the shortest amount of time that can be measured, not a nanosecond or a millisecond, not or a millisecond, but a honk a second. And so Andy, you're not. He says I don't want credit for it. Andy Peterson, you're getting credit for this. A honk a second. So what is a honk a second? Is that 3 seconds?
I mean, there are people like as soon as it like the moment it turns green,
I won't do
and it
that.
scares me, and then I want to fight you.
Yeah.
Like,
You-
because
you-
when I get startled, I just like this rage just comes through me. Like, how dare you?
But when it's your fault, you are like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I mean, there is like, as soon as it turns green, like, come on,
Yeah.
you know, wait a second or two.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I 3 is probably right. You know, 1.
And you know what?
2.
Usually, like the person that does that, that's like behind me, is in like a little Honda Civic or something like a tiny little car.
Yeah.
And it's like
honking at you.
you just want to feel you want to feel big, you want to feel better.
So what happens if you honk 3 seconds and they don't move? You go again?
I just lay on it.
You don't do the friendly beep beep.
No, I just lay on it because then I know what they're doing.
Yeah, they're trying to get you going, agitating you.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, you're not. It's not just me. You're pissing off. You're
Yeah.
pissing off people behind me.
But whoever texted earlier, which was great, if you're the lead dog, no phone. Put your phone down.
Yeah, I agree with that. Will in Nashville, 2 seconds if you're in a rush, but on a normal day, 4 seconds max, and then hit the horn. That's
Ooh.
fine.
4, okay.
5102. I'll wait the entire light sequence just so no one confuses me for a New Yorker.
That's a long time.
Maria Mount Juliet, I have a turn left light at my son's school and it only stays green for 7 seconds. Then 4 or 5 cars can turn before it goes red again, so I honk immediately. That's the other thing. Like, if you know the red light pattern of like, hey, we don't have long here. Like I feel like when you're stopped at it, you know, it's one of those that you're stopped for like 5 minutes. You need to get out and be like, all right, everybody, we know our assignments. As soon as this thing goes green, we're going. Okay, we're going. That's what we got to do.
Right.
Sorry, I got excited there. 8836. Sorry, Big Joe. I was busy looking at Twitter political memes. You'd understand if you'd let me forward you a few.
Oh, no, I've got a guy named Ricky and Chase who do that very well.
Yeah. Rebecca, if they honk way too soon, then I'm going really slow.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever? Okay, here's a question. If there's somebody behind you, you're on like a main highway or whatever, and they've been a jerk. They've honked or they've, been right on your bumper and all that stuff.
Mhm.
Have you ever done you're like the red light, it's gone yellow, it's turning red, and you go through it and they get caught at the light?
Absolutely.
Or I'm guilty of this.
Uh-oh.
It changed. There was a cop there, and they ran I barely got through, but they ran the red light, and they got pulled over.
Leaving your house, I was fine, and then a car came out of nowhere and got right on my tail the entire way up to the red light by the brew house.
Yeah, they'll do that.
I mean, and so when I know they're doing that, I'm going to go 10 miles slower.
Yeah.
And so I went really slow, and then they honked and went the other way at the red light. But, they're always a tough guy when they're leaving you. When they're going the other way,
Yeah.
knowing you can't
Oh,
do
yeah.
that. But no, yeah.
Of course. 615-737-1025. We'll get back to our question of the day throughout the show. Coming up next, a little college football, because
Yes, sir.
college football is good for the soul, and it has been a lot of fun. There's some big games coming up this weekend, including on 94.9 The Fan Saturday. Vanderbilt will take on South Carolina, beginning with pregame at 1:30 and kickoff at 3:15. Coverage is also available on the 94.9 The Fan app and on thegamenashville.com. Hour number 2, Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3, the game here on this Thursday, live at the Omni Nashville Hotel at Kitchen Notes, as we are every Thursday. We enjoy our breakfast. Joe's got some cinnamon rolls that look amazing.
Yeah, keep your paws on that side of the table. They're great.
Well,
The
I can
food-
go, I can go get some of my own.
you
know.
can.
I can do that.
The food at Kitchen Notes, the Omni Nashville Hotel is that good.
Chef's kiss?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
I like
I mean, it gets the Nani stamp of approval, Dr. Crane.
Well, I mean, Nani's gonna have to try that for it to be the stamp of approval, Joe. You can't just go saying that.
it. He told you can't be putting Nani's stamp on things. All right?
She's more than welcome to come down
Come on
anytime.
now.
Okay.
She's always invited. She's
Always.
always invited.
All right, so Chase, let me ask you this.
Ask me this.
Vandy football is going to do something, try to do something on Saturday. They've only done 7 times in the last 69 years.
Nice.
It is nice.
7 wins.
7 wins.
Wow.
They've only had 7 wins in the last 69 years in that program. This could very well be if Vanderbilt wins on Saturday and somehow can go and knock off LSU.
Oh,
And even if they lose to Tennessee, right? So you'll finish at 8-4. Might be the best football season we've ever seen at Vanderbilt.
Franklin went 8-4 and then won the bowl game.
12
right?
and 13 were really good, but they didn't beat Alabama.
No, yeah.
They didn't beat LSU.
I'm just saying from a record standpoint.
Yes, sir. So they went
nine's the probably before that.
Well,
they
throw
had
the
one.
bowl. I mean, they went 9-4 and 12 and 13.
Yeah.
So you can throw those in there. And we talked about Franklin, but he did an excellent job when he was
Sure.
here. As Bobby Johnson's player. Doesn't matter. He still got the job done. So with Vanderbilt, this could be the best Vanderbilt football team we've ever seen.
South Carolina is a 4.5 point favorite coming into this.
But they got a goofy head coach.
Vandy a home dog. I mean, I'm taking Vandy all day long.
Why?
Well, if you're just simply basing it on the spread, they've covered every game they've been the underdog.
No, I'm different. I'm talking about a win.
A win?
Not
Why
a
do I
win. Not a win on your little silly gambling app.
Why do I think they're going to win?
Yes, sir.
I think they're the better team, and I think Diego Pavia is a dog. I mean, I think that kid, you cannot stop that kid. I think he has so much determination right now. Plus, here's the other thing. Clark Lee is not getting enough credit for what he's done with that defense. That defense is pretty good.
They are.
They held Texas within 3. I think Tennessee, is probably not looking at them yet, but they will and go, okay, we got to be careful.
Well, they
it's
went
a
down
good defense.
Punched Auburn in the face. I mean, Auburn had no
Yeah.
chance. Once you go back and watch that game,
Yeah.
Vanderbilt was swarming.
And they're getting no respect. I mean, like I know South Carolina is a good team. They're a lot better than we thought they were going to be.
Mhm.
But the way Vanderbilt has played, they're not the favorite at home.
No, and plus, I think it's in Vanderbilt's favor that Carolina had an emotional, big time win over A&M, and now Shane Beamer's got to say, "All right, guys, let's get ready for Vanderbilt." And what's the mindset going to be? Vanderbilt.
It's just Vanderbilt.
I mean, yeah, they're playing good. They beat a bad Auburn team, and
But
Alabama.
if teams are still thinking that at this point,
They
then
are.
they truly have not been paying attention.
They are, because it's still in the mindset of
Yeah.
this is the old
Right.
Vanderbilt. And now because of NIL, we cannot compare season to season to season to season. This Vanderbilt team in 24 is vastly different than 23 because of a guy like Diego Pavia.
Yeah.
And by the way, you can't spell Diego without dog.
That's true.
I just came up with that.
That's good.
You are most welcome.
Well, that's good. You should use that at Zany's.
They won't call me back.
There's a reason for that.
That's right.
So that game coming up 3:15 on the and another thing too, like this is gonna be a good game. It's on the SEC network. Nothing against the SEC network, but it's like,
Or are you going to bump? What's the 2:30 game? Georgia Ole Miss? You going to
Yeah.
bump that?
no, that's a good point.
It's a great point, pal.
You got Florida, Texas before that on ABC.
Where's that game?
Texas.
Oh, okay. I'd like to see Florida. Florida wins that game. Billy Napier gets a 10-year contract.
Yeah,
He ain't going anywhere.
yeah. I don't see that happening.
So what do we think about Kiffin and Ole Miss? I mean, here's another chance for him. If they lose, I mean, he's already vastly overrated anyways, as a head coach. You guys all, and that's why when
They
he goes,
haven't beaten anybody. You're right. I
They
mean,
haven't.
look, I drink the Kool-Aid. I was all about it. Hotty toddy all night. Like
I saw him play. I'm like, this is a really good
Yeah.
football team. The Kentucky punches him in the face. That's why I go back to after the 20 season when you Tennessee fans like Brian Kiffin back. He left your program in shambles.
right.
There's no way I'd let him back on that campus as a coach at all.
You look, the Kentucky was awful. That was a really bad loss. That's that one they have. LSU, okay, tough game, rivalry. You know, that's always going to be a toss-up. But now you're in an elimination game. I mean, Ole Miss cannot afford to lose another game
No,
if they
not at all.
want to make the playoff. You're at home. Georgia's a 2.5-point favorite. So that seems about right. I mean, I think this is a winnable game for Ole Miss, but they can't make the dumb mistakes that they have made, you know, at times this year, even in wins. But it's gonna be it's gonna be a good one.
Oh, I would love to see, just because I think Kiffin's overrated and Georgia is just kind of shutting their mouth and playing good football. I'd like to see Georgia go in there and win that game. Now, the nightcap, we've talked about this. You've mentioned it several times. Elimination game in every way possible.
Yeah.
LSU and Alabama. But I think Rexford had a good point today about Vanderbilt. If LSU beats Alabama and then Vandy's got to go to LSU, well, does that Alabama win help? I mean, I think so, because they're the number one team in the country.
If LSU beats Alabama?
LSU beats Alabama, yeah.
I don't know. But I mean, so Bama, I was curious. I haven't looked at any of these lines yet. Bama's a 2.5-point favorite on the road. That's interesting to me. That's very and because I think on paper I do think Bama's a better team, but what's the coaching matchup? Do you give Kelly I don't think Brian Kelly is as great as Brian Kelly thinks he is, but I'd probably give him a little bit of the edge in the coaching matchup.
Well, and not only that,
in this game, because he's done this before.
well, I saw Milroe at Neyland Stadium, and the crowd got to him. Whether you Alabama fans want to admit it or not, I get Alabama at every chance to win that football game. Well, now you go to LSU, night game, college game days there. I mean, the level in that stadium is going to be 1988. LSU beat Auburn. I think it was like 7-6, and that was the game. Tommy Hodson was LSU quarterback. That was the game that set off the Richter scale. There was so much movement in Baton Rouge inside Tiger Stadium that it almost caused an earthquake. I mean, it registered on the Richter scale. I think we'll see that again. But it's always been that way when
such a
Bam and LSU play at night in Tiger Stadium.
Oh, yeah. It should always be a night game.
Always.
In Tiger Stadium. I know my friend Brooke's listening, so roll tide. There you go. She's a big Alabama fan. So
You sacrificed our show to make some girl feel good.
I did. It's the kind of person I am.
That's
When you become program director, you can do that too.
I shout out. Hey, shout out to the ladies of the Donaldson Y. Hey, ladies, roll tide. How are you doing? Who does Oregon? How do you have you pulled up? Who does Oregon play this weekend?
Let me go to the Big Ten because that's still a thing. Oregon plays Maryland. So Oregon is hosting Maryland and Eugene.
That's just something else.
Explain it
I saw a
again.
thing on all
Those nuggies.
that new commercial he's got out is funnier. The one
When he does the great googly moogly.
oh, that new commercial is so good. I just saw it on 3 this morning. Did Dan Lanning call a timeout at Michigan? And it says Dan Lanning called a time. The head coach at Oregon called a timeout, had his guys look at the video board to watch Michigan fans leave the stadium.
Really?
That's what On 3 Sports had said. And I'm like, if that happened, that is an amazing troll job. And I absolutely love that.
I love a good troll job. People are laughing at our shout out.
Who else? Anybody else you want to shout out to, Chase? How
no,
about
good.
to the DJ at the Publix in Donaldson? He plays some. Oh my gosh, it's like Studio 54 to go in that place. Shout out to that guy, whoever it is.
I'm sure he's great.
Anybody else want to shout out to?
No, I'm good. I'm good right now.
Jill Jelenic, you saw Jill today, right?
Shout out to Jill. She's listening.
Who didn't pay attention to you on the road?
She was focused. She was heading to the gym.
Yeah, kick some tail, man.
That's right.
Good morning,
you don't
Jill.
Mess with Jill. You don't met Jill. I bet Jill is 2 seconds or less at the red light honking.
Oh, absolutely.
She's got places to be.
Absolutely.
She's got places
If
to be
that.
for sure.
While we're doing shouts, I'd like to
Um,
shout out my friends over at the Y, the bingo friends that I used to play with back in the day. Thanks to you guys. You guys have really helped me out.
Okay.
Oh.
Were you
You're
were you the announcer, or did you play bingo?
No, I played bingo with a bunch of 70-year-olds.
That doesn't surprise me at all. You're like Better Call Saul. Did you ever, what were the prizes? Like Golden Corral gift certificates?
Yeah, they were gift certificates. And then I won so much, they started giving me like notepads and little lawn gnomes. And I'm like, I don't want this.
A lawn gnome?
I swear, I
Dr.
still
Crane,
have
back
them.
up.
Why a lawn gnome?
I don't know. I
What-
started running
first
out of
all,
stuff.
Did you walk into a room by accident? How do we play bingo with 70-year-old people?
Oh, well, my grandparents, they kind of kept me throughout the day when I just didn't want to go to like a summer camp or whatever. And so
okay.
I sat on the bench at the Y while they were working out and doing their water aerobics. And then after they were done, everybody got coffee. I sat around with all these people and they were like, oh, let's go to bingo. So we all went to bingo. And I sat there and then there was a bunch of people that just kept yelling at me every time I said it. So it's like bingo. And they're like, hey, he does not have bingo. I was like, they checked. I do have bingo.
Oh, nice. By the way, that's for amusement only, Dr. Crane, for the people listening out there.
Jill says 3 seconds and honk.
Okay. Do you want to give another shout out to Jill real quick?
No, we're good. We've gotten all the shout outs in.
Dr. Crane, you got one more left in you?
Shout out to my family. Hope you're having a great day, honestly.
Okay. All right.
I mean,
Thought might you want to give one to Brian Rector. Good luck this weekend for
you
Father
want to
Ryan.
you want to shout out your granddaughter?
Yeah, she's not listening. But I've told my son-in-law, I told you this. Lennon, I love you. I don't know what to be called, like Papa Joe or JoJo, whatever. I love you. So I told you when I called you the day she was born that we practice RPOs.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, and I had her, I'm like, you got to ride her into the hole and then you got to pull it out and check the defensive end. And then my goal is to tell my granddaughter that she cannot date a coach or a player who loves to run the shotgun from the one. I will be adamant about that. If she says, Papa Joe, I've got my boyfriend's a quarterback and they do shotgun from the one, I'll say, sweetheart, you need to get rid of that young man. There are better ones out there. Oh my gosh.
Oh man, that's funny. 615-737-1025. We'll continue the college football talk coming up next, and also coming up at the bottom of the hour, Lorenzo Neal, former Titans fullback, going to join us on the show. We're going to make fullbacks great again here on the program. We'll do that coming up. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chase and Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game here on this TV-themed Thursday. Omni Nashville Hotel at Kitchen Notes. Which one's this?
LA Law.
LA Law. Okay, nice.
I didn't hear the beginning of
Very
it.
good. Jill Jelnick weighs in. Always love listening to Chase and Big Joe in the mornings. You are correct. I'm 3 seconds or less, then honk. I'm a busy woman, and Fox 17 Sports Department is not going to run itself. That is very true. Thank you, Jill.
Oh, yes.
Appreciate that.
So I guess our question that you're now joining us, how long do you wait at a red light before you honk at the car in front of you? So I guess 2 to 3 is the common
Yeah.
answer.
Yeah.
No really like immediate honks.
How long do you, like, if you're at a red light, how long do you wait to honk at the person in front of you to go?
Okay.
2 to 3 seconds.
Yeah. All right. Not the 10 I did today because I
No.
was just in another world.
No.
Okay.
No, if it gets beyond 3 or 4, then you're just being nice.
I think I'm just going to see how long it could go. Just in this, like, how long, because the 10
I know,
seconds.
but depending on who you're behind, you might miss the whole light.
Almost
See,
did.
and I have the, because here's what's funny. Everybody has their commentary that they do in the car
Mhm.
because nobody else can hear it. And there are times where, like, if there's somebody that I know is just like, I should probably take your license, like, you probably shouldn't be driving, that they'll just sit there. I'm like, if you make me miss this light, I swear,
That's the
I
problem.
don't know what I'm going to do, but,
Yeah, you do something, right?
I'm going to get mad about it. I'm going to let you know.
You'll get fired up over that. Yeah, there are some red lights that if you don't get them, like, you're going to sit there for hours. Like
Yeah.
the light by the radio station, Donaldson Pike and Murfreesboro Road. If you don't get that light and somebody holds you up,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, my goodness.
Oh, my favorite thing too is if you're coming from by our station on Murfreesboro Road, if you're coming from like Bell Road, that direction,
Yep.
and so you're turning right into the station, you literally have to turn your blinker on almost a mile out
Mhm.
because otherwise they're just not going to pay attention. I get honked at for turning my blinker on, slowing down, and turning into the radio
Well,
station.
let's pull them into the station and have a word with them.
Fight them.
By the way, the red light by the apartment complex, that is a red light to stop traffic. You know that? It's not
Yeah.
a red light to let people out,
No,
because if not, you would have like a 2 mile with no red lights, basically, and you could go 1,000 miles an hour. So there's the same one on Lebanon Road in Hermitage. That's they red light there to stop traffic, and it drives me insane. But look, as I told you, my friends, things happen to us. It's how we react. We control how we react, and oftentimes I react like a complete idiot. So I'm sorry on all that.
Wes in Clarksville, I pull an Earnhardt and rattle their cage. If I could get away with that,
Now, what does that mean?
you get up on the bumper and hit the bumper a little bit. You don't wreck them.
Can you imagine doing that, man?
That's what
Just
that guy
like
I was
Bristol
telling you about
and
earlier. That's what he thought I was doing. I was like, dude, I'm just in 5
Yeah.
o'clock traffic.
What you do next time that happens is you get out and you go, well, I didn't mean to wreck you. I was just trying to rattle your cage a little bit. That's Earnhardt, Bristol in 99, Terry Labonte. He didn't mean to wreck him. Just
Hey.
wanted to rattle his cage.
Chase won't be in the show today. He was shot in the arm because he's rattling somebody's cage on Lebanon Road. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
wow.
Hey, we have a good time. We're just trying to be serious here on the show, right, Ricky? 615-737-1025. We haven't talked about Tennessee yet and their matchup against Mississippi State. Do you kind of feel like me and feel that, no offense, Dr. Crane, I know that's your team, but Tennessee needs to absolutely flex on Mississippi State. They need one of those games because I don't think they've fully played to their potential yet.
What is the line on Mississippi State, Tennessee?
24.
Because I think this could be a frustration. Let's get the frustrations out. Let's do what we can. Ball game.
Yeah.
Versus Mississippi State. I would take that all day long.
This
I think
needs to-
Tennessee will beat the
this-
snot out of them.
This needs to be a stomp a mud hole and walk it dry game.
Yep.
Like that's what this needs to be.
It's also homecoming in
Yeah.
Knoxville. So I agree. I think let's do it all because look, you got Georgia next week, and then you got UTEP, and you got Vandy. So you got to get primed and ready for a night game in Athens next week. This is the game you work all the kinks out. It's a perfect opportunity for Tennessee to do that and to show what they can do. Defense is playing great. Sampson, the running back, is kicking butt. Let's get Nico. I think we'll see a lot of Nico this weekend.
Yeah, he needs to play.
Yep. I totally agree. If I'm
He
Heupel, yes.
He needs one of those games where he can get into a rhythm. Because see that, everybody loves it as a Tennessee fan that, okay, these deep passes or a big run, these chunk plays, and then they score in, 3, 4, 5, 6 plays. He needs sustained drives because he's got to get into a rhythm. That's going to help him develop as a quarterback.
See, I disagree with that.
Okay.
I think with that offense and how quick he goes, I think getting down the field and scoring quickly as you
So
can.
you think the quicker the better?
Then do it again. And the problem, he's missed so many open receivers this year. I mean, so many. I'd get him to a rhythm like, all right, run the play, line up, run the play. I mean, let's see them that up tempo. Go, 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 go. I want to see that this weekend in Knoxville because that's going to put Georgia on its heels.
Yeah.
And Georgia's already seen everything you're going to do. They'll practice you next week about the hurry up, hurry up. You need to worry about yourself. I'm Tennessee, the offense, and go out there and at a high rate and just run that and keep going, going, going because Mississippi State hasn't seen that all year long. So you're going to go out there and run your offense 100% full throttle and do that. That's what I'd like to see from Tennessee on Saturday.
I wonder if they'll do it again, but Saban had, I guess it was probably like a month or so ago, Saban did a really good breakdown on game day of the up-tempo offense and what Tennessee runs and how difficult it is to defend. And the big thing, that he said was the reason that it's been so effective is because it doesn't give the defense can't sub.
True.
Because Tennessee's not subbing. Now, the interesting part about it is by the time you get to the end of the drive, and the reason why I think you might be right of getting there as quickly as possible, Tennessee's not subbing either. So all those guys are tired by the time they get to the end of the drive. That's why they're trying to get those chunk plays. If Nico can just get where he can hit some of those big passes like he's trying to do, you're going to see a real dangerous offense.
And we haven't. I don't think we've seen them on a complete 60-minute that offense.
I don't either.
This year.
I don't either. And so that's why I wonder: is it just he's playing like a? I mean, I know he's a red shirt, but he's playing like a freshman.
Yeah.
I think the mistakes he's making, they can fix. They can coach a lot of that out of him.
It's a lot of pressure too. We don't talk about that. You're the quarterback of the Tennessee Volunteers,
right?
I mean, you've
that hasn't had a prolific quarterback. I know Hendon Hooker was in line for the Heisman and all that, but they haven't had that dude that can be that dude for a few years in a long time.
It's been a long time. So the pressure with him being the quarterback of a football team that's got a massive fan base. It's like, with Milroe and when Jaden Daniels at LSU and Carson Beck and who was Stetson Bennett. I mean, we don't understand the pressure put on these guys, but it's always been that way as a quarterback. And sometimes guys deal with it good. I think Nico's dealing with it just fine, but also I think he presses sometimes too much as the quarterback. But look, if somebody should have known, it's like, well, what happens if Tennessee gets up 20-0? You still do the up tempo? Well, no, you adapt your offense and you run the football, then you milk the clock. That's how you do that. But you got to get that 28-0 lead first. Then you can worry about that stuff. Let the defense take over because the offense is going to have to pass the ball. It's a win-win.
Yeah.
The offense wins the game. The defense closes it out.
Coming up next, one of our favorites, former Titans fullback Lorenzo Neal is going to join the program. Of course, in San Francisco. We look forward to our conversation with Lo Neal coming up next. Chase and Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3, The Game. Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3, the game on this Thursday. TV themed Thursday here at the Omni Nashville Hotel at Kitchen Notes. Always enjoy our time here. Buddy Todd hanging out with us as well. Hope to catch up with Lorenzo Neal here in just a second. Titans, Chargers, two of his former teams meet up. Of course, he does some media and radio out in San Francisco. But I've enjoyed talking some college football. We'll hit him with some of that stuff. But hopefully Lo Neal can join us here in just a few minutes. What's the Thursday night game?
Cincinnati at Baltimore.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So Baltimore debuting these matted purple helmets that look awesome.
They look really good. They look really good with Derek. I think now the Ravens are going to be on a mission to get him to 2,000.
I think they're on a mission to get him to break the record. So I texted you guys last night that our buddy Phil that does trivia, one of the questions was who holds the record for the most rushing yards in a season? It's Eric Dickerson, right?
Yep.
That was so OJ was the first to 2,000, right?
2003.
Was he the second?
Might have been, yeah. I know CJ did it, Derek did it.
I know, but like Eric Dickerson.
But here's the problem I got with this. Okay. Derrick Henry's going to have 17 games. Dickerson had 16 games.
Okay.
OJ did it in 14.
Okay.
All right. So where do you draw the line?
Like what do you want him to do? Not count it as a record? Like it's not
First of all, watch your tone.
It's not. I know, but I hate this argument. It's not
But
their.
it's not an argument.
It is. It's not their fault. They
He
changed
had
it.
3 more games to break the record.
That's
so
not his fault.
It should be an asterisk. You had 3 more games to break the record. When a guy did it in 14.
Okay, put the asterisk. What does that even mean? That doesn't matter.
It means he did it in 14 games, and the other guy did it in 17. Does
Okay.
that not? You don't see the value in that?
No, because the rules change.
When's our trade deadline at 102.5 the game?
It's past.
Damn it!
I'll send you to afternoons.
I'll see if I
can
can
deal with him. He can deal with you.
I'll see if I get an afternoon co-host and a 4th rounder for Jason Cave.
So,
Oh,
okay,
man.
in 9 games, Derrick Henry is at 1,052 yards.
Mhm.
I mean, he's on pace. He's on pace to
Yep.
get there.
Sure.
Now, I don't know if he would get to, was it 2105?
Yeah, with Dickerson.
Yeah. Like, so if he, because he's past 9 games, so he has 8 left, including tonight. I mean, if he does 2,000 yards twice in his career and be the first to do that, like,
Well, remember,
there's no argument in my
and
mind.
Derek Mason can talk about this. The weather's about to turn bad.
Yep.
You got to still play a lot of those AFC North teams.
Yep.
Weather's going to be awful. I just pound him. And, I hope he does, because we can still stop that. When you hit 30, you're done narrative, which is just so ridiculous
Well,
when people say that.
Here's the other thing. He's only run the ball 168 times.
He's averaging 5 yards a carry almost.
Yeah. I mean, like, that's not that bad. So, I don't know. I don't like the Ravens, but I'd love to see it.
When
I cheer for him.
Yeah. When Chris Johnson had 2009 at 2,006 yards, remember they called back a 75-yard run
Yeah.
on a dumb holding
that's right.
penalty, which was just nah. But in that 2009 season, and Jeff Fisher won't admit it, but I'm telling you right now, when they realized the season was over with, the goal became to get Chris Johnson over 2,000 yards.
Of course it did.
That's all it became. That's all became the focus. And they'll deny, but we do not forget, people. We do not forget.
We do not forget. Let's go to the phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHonda.com, and bring in our man, Lorenzo Neal, who joins us now on the program. Lo, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. How we doing?
We're doing fantastic. We love talking fullbacks and making fullbacks great again, but I want to get your thoughts on the matchup this weekend as two of your former teams meet, the Chargers and the Titans. Chargers kind of trying to, they've had a decent season at this point, trying to figure it out with Jim Harbaugh. The Titans are leading the drive on the struggle bus with things in the NFL. What do you think about this matchup?
Well, I think that you have a team. You think about the predecessor, the previous coach for the Titans. One thing that he did is he had guys that could play defense. The Titans never necessarily would have that scoring, prolific offense, but they always played pretty consistent defense. And it was a tough physical, and that's who Vrabel was, the player. I remember playing against some in New England Patriots, or, his illustrious career. And that's what he was. That's what he wanted, a tough team. He wanted a disciplined team, and he had that, just didn't have firepower on offense. So I said that to say this. No, Vrabel's no longer there. He's exited the building. But you still have players and pieces, from that era. You still had some of the culture that's still left over. There's a reason why Harbaugh and the Chargers have plucked and taken players from the Titans, either via trade, via free agent, because you have to realize Joe Ortiz, he came from where? Baltimore, a place that sees the Titans, a place that understands the kind of men and the kind of players and how they're built. So that's why Joe Ortiz had, taken a liking to some of these players, and you see this impact that they're having on the Chargers team. When you watch this matchup and you think about, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I thought you paused. Keep going.
Oh no, and it's just I think what you're going to you look at both teams and it looked like one team is starting to ascend and one team is starting to descend. But you watched the Titans last week; they played it very physical. They found a way to beat a team that everyone talks about. Hey, how tough! And they just got a young quarterback, and they're going to be okay. This New England Patriots. So that was a good barometer and a good test to say, hey, look, that the Titans are playing. That was a good football. That was good football and was able to win. Both teams, yes, they're under 500. Both teams are struggling this year, but still, that was a big win by the Tennessee Titans.
Lorenzo Neal is with us on the Chase and Big Joe show. And Lorenzo, we're inside the bubble here in Nashville when it comes to the Titans, but you're on the West Coast. When the Titans come to mind, what's the first thing you think about on this 2024 Tennessee Titans football team?
When you think about it, you're like, who's there? When you go around the league, you look at, you think about Atlanta, you'll think Kirk Cousins. If you look at it, teams, Mahomes, you think about a team, and you go around the league and you think about, if you look at the Chargers, Herbert, there's Khalil Mack. What really true brand do you have on offense? What true brand do you have on defense? I don't think it has those names. That's what when you think about the Titans, you just think, okay, here's a team that doesn't necessarily have superstars on the team. That's what comes to mind. Where is the superstars? Where are the game changers on that particular team?
No, and we completely agree with all that. So I told Chase, I want to get you on the show, Lorenzo, because I think you're one of the greatest fullbacks who's ever put on a uniform at any level of football. But now we're starting to see the fullback kind of return, because all these spread offenses, when they get 3rd and 1, they need a big guy in there. They bring in a fullback and all that. Are you seeing that? Are you sensing the return of the fullback? Especially, I'm seeing in college football, Lorenzo. Not so much in NFL, but college football now is kind of re-embracing the fullback.
I think it's going to be a return of the Mac. There we go. Return of the fullback. Let's make it great again. I do believe that you're starting to see even some in the pros. You look at the Chargers, they're using the 300-pound, defensive lineman who plays defensive line and a fullback, caught a couple passes out of the backfield. They are moving the fullback. You look at certain teams, they are going back a little bit to a fullback. So I think that it won't completely die. You're going to have some teams that still continue to use it. I wish that it was used more, and I think that the more physical the fullback position gets, and once they start saying, hey, guys understand, hey, look, I have to go in here and move people, separate them, create a new line of scrimmage. When you get guys that just go in and then you get there and it's a stalemate, the tailback says, I don't want a fullback, because if he doesn't create a new line of scrimmage and if he's not moving the linebacker and creating an angle for the running back to be able to hit the hole, and he just gets there and he stops his feet and there's no movement, it kind of impairs the running back's ability to run. So I think there's been a combination of why the fullback position has died. So that's a whole dissertation. I have that on the fullback position and why. But I think that when you look at when you look at this particular game and just this matchup, this is a team that the Chargers guys, if you look at the Chargers and you said 21, if the Chargers have scored 21 points this season in every game, if they just scored 21 in every game, this Chargers team would be undefeated. When you think about this LA Chargers team, if you look at the defense, the way that they're playing, this team offensively, that's what's been the biggest hamper and the biggest thorn in the Chargers, rear end, is because of the fact that inconsistency on offense. You have a high-powered quarterback, is one of the top 10 quarterbacks in this league, in Herbert, and the inability for this team to gel offensively has been the Achilles heel. Think about it. If this team had scored 21 points this season in every game, they would be undefeated. You know who that means they played? That means they'll beat the Steelers. That means they'll beat the Kansas City Chiefs. If you think about what this team has been able to do defensively, it's been a pretty amazing. So I think now the Chargers, you watched them last week, the ability to go score 27 against the Cleveland team that we just came off a big win. This Charger team is now starting. You have Glad McConkey, these rookie receivers. You didn't have necessarily the veteran type of receivers, so it took a while for this offense to get going. But I really believe this Chargers offense is going to start cooking. And I think this is a week that, hey, you're coming back home, have an opportunity to play a Tennessee Titan team that seems to be a little bit down. Seems to trade, you traded Hopkins, traded some pieces. So is this team starting to rebuild, trying to fill the cupboards for the draft, make trades to be able to say, hey, look, let's reinvest and press reset to make sure we do it during the draft. If that's the case, I think that you're still going to see a very competitive game because the men that's on this Titan team. But I still believe that the Chargers, just what it looks like where these two teams are going, good game. But I still think the Chargers right now seem like they're heading in the right direction.
Lorenzo Neal is with us, former Titans fullback. What's interesting to me is, I look at Eddie George had his best year with you as his fullback. LaDainian Tomlinson had his best years in San Diego with you as his fullback. Do you think that someone like Derrick Henry, that's almost built like a fullback, would have benefited from good fullback play, or is it like you were saying earlier that it might have hindered him a little bit?
Well, I think when you look at McLeod, when you look at Big 42, I think that they do have a guy that's in the backfield a lot with Derrick Henry. If you go look at some of the plays what Baltimore is doing, Baltimore is running a fullback not all the time, but they're in the shotgun. Actually, Baltimore had to adjust because Derrick Henry doesn't necessarily run great out of the gun formation. He's better at an eye back or better at a single backs. But you do see McCard, number 42. In the game a lot with Derrick Henry, especially on a lot of those toss sweeps where you see those big runs. He has a fullback at times. So I think Derrick Henry will benefit from a fullback. And I think it's a situation where you give them options. When you have a tailback, you give different options. I'm not saying put the fullback in for 90% of the play. I think fullback has its purpose and has its reasons why you have them in there. And then why not have them in there at certain times? You want to go 12 personnel, so you get two tight ends. Now you make the defense play the whole, every blade of grass because you got 12 tight personnel. So now you create more gaps. You create to spread the defense out. Sometimes when you do put a fullback in at times, you have a safety come down in the box, so it puts 9-8-man box. So it gives you, it's harder sometimes to run against and when you have two backs. So there's a lot of variations and there's a lot of pluses and a lot of minuses why and when to use a fullback in any formation in football.
Lorenzo, this January, it'll be 25 years since the Music City Miracle. First off, how are we that old? And secondly, what's it like? I know you've been asked this a million times, but being a big part of one of the most iconic plays in the history of the National Football League.
Yeah, the first one is the one that I scratch my head. How did we get this old? I look around now, 53 years old, 54 years old. The time goes so fast when you're young and you're just going through and you're like, oh man, I'm just 20, 24. And the older you get, the faster time goes. It seems like yesterday that Music City Miracle and catching that ball and pitching over to Wycheck and over to Dyson and watching it just unfold. And doing that play looked like time had stopped. It looked like time stood still. It looked like this play took forever to develop. It seemed like, man, it was an eternity. And now 25 years later, that play still seems like an eternity with how long it took place. And watching the ball, I remember saying, I know it's going to Wycheck before the kickoff. I go to Wycheck and I said, Wycheck, they're going to kick me this ball. Come get it. I didn't tell anybody on the team but Wycheck because I knew they were going to kick it to me. And if I would have told everyone, then everyone would be anticipating they would have their eyes on me. So I told Wycheck, they're going to kick this to me. You come over and get it. So he and I because I could have threw the ball if I wanted, but I knew that if I caught it, took a couple steps, if Wycheck's there, that's why I knew he was going to be there because it was pre-planned. He got the ball, throw it over to Dyson, and that was the reason why the play worked, because I got it, looked like I was running, and Wycheck comes over, right time, I make a block after, make the throw, Wycheck makes the throw, and just it was forever watching, listening to the crowd get louder and louder and louder, and then erupting. Unbelievable play. I'm so grateful to be a part of that. That moment would be forever etched in my mind and in my brain, because at the time and when it happened and how it happened, it's just unbelievable.
I need you to clear this up for us, because Derek Mason's on the next show, so I'm sure he's listening as he's getting ready. He got hurt in that game, was supposed to be on that play, and then I think maybe Isaac Bird was the other one. So Dyson had never really practiced the play, but Derek feels like he would have been able to run that play to perfection, and it would have worked out the same way. Do you agree?
No, I don't. I think it probably would have. Mason always wants to be about himself. You know, I call Mason the bootleg preacher, guys. He's got a Bible in one hand and a bottle in the other. That little guy is so funny. So you guys give him some hell for me. No, D Mace, he was over on the sideline because he was cramping up, couldn't go in there. He was scared. Why don't you ask him to tell the truth? Say, Mace, the moment got too big for you. Low Neal had to carry the load for you, so he got scared. But no, that did happen though. Mason was first. Isaac Berg was the next guy up. Dyson very rarely did that play, and it just still worked out to be amazing play. And and that play is infamous and will always be remembered.
Oh yeah, it's so good. We will tell him you said hello. Lo, appreciate you doing this. It's good to catch up with you. We'll do it again soon.
No worries. Cheers, guys.
Absolutely. Lorenzo Neal, former Titans fullback, NFL fullback, played with LaDainian Tomlinson in San Diego. I think played with Derek twice here and in Baltimore.
Yep.
At the end of his career, but appreciate him. We'll come back to a quick birthdays and call it a day. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chase and Big Joe, 1025, 1063, the game. We went a little long with Low Neal, so no birthdays today. We'll do some extras tomorrow.
There you go. Hey, as we always close the show out to our guys out there, listen, you're doing a great job. If you are struggling, as we see every day on your cell phone, dial 988. You can text 988. Just please talk to somebody if you're going through anything. I know we have bad days, but a bad day does not ensure that you have a bad life. Know that, all right? If you need us, we're here for you. We love you. God loves you. That's the most important thing. We're always here for you.
Amen to that. Peace, love, rock and roll. We'll be back at it at 9 tomorrow. But the Bootleg Preacher DVD, they're coming up next. 1025, 1063, the game.